Namaste and hello. Welcome to the Art of Yoga Project. My name is Dana. Thank you for taking the time to practice with me. Today we have a gentle yoga practice focusing on taking care of ourselves and our bodies. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be in a seated position on our mats. And we're going to start out with a little bit of rocking and rolling. So we'll come into a seated position, hold the area behind our knees, and we're just going to roll down under our spine and then roll up. And we'll do this several more times. And here, just notice the sensation of the floor on the spine, not rolling back too far. See if you can really ground the back and have a bit of a massage. Maybe two more. And when you're ready, coming up to a comfortable seated position, taking a breath. And we're going to do bee's breath as the second part of our warm-up today. So we're going to inhale, and then on the exhale, we're going to hum like a bee. And we'll inhale. And this last one, notice where you feel the vibrations. Is it in the nose, in the ears, the back of the head? Just notice where you feel the sensations. Inhaling. Let's inhale the arms up. And then exhale. And arms come down. Let's just take a moment to check in and see how you are physically, mentally, or emotionally and spiritually. Just noticing. I'm not trying to change anything, just trying to be aware and accepting of whatever is present right now. Beautiful. Thank you. Today we're going to be talking about kind thought, speech, and action. And there's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, and he says, "There is no way to peace. There is only peace." And I think that's a truth. We all have peace in us, but sometimes we don't let it come out, or we don't want to acknowledge it. But it's something that we all have within us. So there's no way to peace. It just is. So with that, we're going to start out with our practice, and we're going to start on our backs once again with our knees bent, feet about mat distance apart, and we'll just take a couple of breaths here on our back. Just notice the breath moving in, noticing the belly and the chest rise, and the belly and chest fall. And you can even sigh if you want. Inhaling. Then we'll allow the knees to drop to one side. I'm going to have mine move to the right, and I'm going to gaze in the opposite direction. I'm going to gaze to the left. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. breathing in and breathing out. We'll inhale the knees to center, and then we'll exhale, allow the knees to drop to the other side and gaze in the opposite direction. Feeling the stretch, perhaps in the torso, the hips, maybe in the thighs. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll bring the knees up, gazing up towards the sky. And then bringing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a little bit of a hug. Taking a breath. And then you can roll over to the side, or you can rock and roll up. We're going to move into a seated position. Maybe rocking and rolling up to a seated position. We'll take a breath here. And be comfortable in your seat. If you need to take a pillow, if you need to move your knees and sit in another position, that's okay. Just feel grounded and settled wherever it is. We'll inhale, the arms open, and then we'll exhale, bringing one arm across the chest. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing the shoulder to move towards the back wall, and just gently bringing that arm towards the chest. And so we're doing kind thought, kind speech, and kind action today. And so as we move through these practices and movements, you may notice what your self-talk is. How are you speaking to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Is it how you would speak to a loved one? We'll open our arms, inhaling, and exhale, bringing the opposite arm across, feeling the stretch through the arm or the back of the body. And for some of us, just sitting on the floor is a big stretch. And so again, being aware of the thoughts, and perhaps you can talk to yourself as you would a loved one, being kind and compassionate. We'll open the arms, inhaling. This time we're going to bring them up towards the ceiling. We're going to interlace the fingers. If you can, turn the fingers up towards the sky, the palm of the hand. We're going to lean over towards one side. And opening up the side of the body. We'll come up to center. We're going to bring the hands in front of us. We're going to round the spine. Allow the head to stretch forward, the back moving towards the back wall or area behind you. And I'm going to bring the hands into our chest. And notice how your fingers are interlaced. And see if you can interlace them just one hand off, so it's the uncomfortable side. And then we'll inhale and then exhale the hands up overhead. We'll inhale as we lift the body. We'll exhale as we move over to the opposite side, stretching the side body, feeling the stretch. And then inhale to center. And then we'll again allow the arms to come in front of us as we round the spine. Taking a breath with the rounded spine. Inhale the arms and open the chest. We'll allow the arms to come down. Taking a breath here. Just noticing the sensation of the body. Now we're going to bring our right knee in. We're going to see if we can wrap our arm around the knee and our hand around the foot, and we're just going to allow the hip to move side to side. It's kind of a funny one. We're working our hips, and here maybe we can tune in to, we talked about kind speech versus kind thoughts. And this looks kind of silly, but what is a kind thought? You're feeling tight, it's like, oh, I might feel tight, but we don't have to be critical. Allowing the hip to move back and forth. And then we'll bring that hip down, taking a breath. And then we'll bring the other knee up, and we'll wrap our elbow around the outside of the knee, and I have my foot on the arch, and I'm just going to move my hip and knee back and forth. And there's a lot of ways to move this posture, some of them, and some of you may be able to get your head or your foot behind your head. We're not going to do that today, but this is just really opening up our hips and trying to release some of the stress that we carry in our hips. It's just rocking back and forth. And then we'll bring that leg down, taking a breath here. And then we'll inhale the arms up towards the sky. And then we'll exhale as we twist towards one side. Take a couple of breaths in this twisted position. You can gaze towards that back shoulder if you like. Taking a breath there, not forcing, just a light gaze in that direction. And keeping the twist there, not moving the body, just taking the chin and gazing over the opposite shoulder. So we're creating an S curve in our spine. And then we'll inhale to center, inhale the arms up, and then exhale, twisting in the opposite direction. Bringing one hand behind, perhaps one across the thighs, trying to lengthen the spine, and perhaps gazing towards that back shoulder any amount. And on each inhalation, perhaps trying to create a little more space in the spine. Lifting the top of the head towards the sky, and trying to maintain that space on the exhalation. And noticing the breath. And keeping the body where it is, the shoulders where they are. Allow the chin to gaze over the opposite shoulder, creating again that S curve with the spine. And winding the gaze and winding the spine, and we'll inhale the arms up, and then we'll exhale and close the pose. We're going to move into gate pose now. Just going to come up onto our knees, and if you need some extra padding, you can put a blanket or roll up the mat. We're going to be on one knee, and we're going to extend the other leg out. This is gate pose. Let's just feel how that is. Notice the sensation in the inner thigh. You can bend the knee if you like, lifting up through the torso. I'm going to inhale the arms up overhead, As we exhale, we're going to bring the one arm down towards the leg and lift up towards the other. And we have a slight bend or extension toward the extended leg. We're stretching the side body here. We're stretching the inside of our legs. And we're building strength throughout our torso and our spine. Noticing the breath. And we're going to inhale out of there. Keeping the legs where they are, we're going to bring that opposite hand down to the ground. And then we'll lift this other one up overhead. This is a version of side plank. We're building the muscles of our torso, our hips. There's a little bit of balance here. Breathing. And then with the strength of our torso, we'll come into gate pose again, lowering the hands. And then we'll bring that knee in. And if the knees are okay, we'll come down to a seated position on our knees. Thunderbolt. We'll inhale the arms up. And exhale. Bringing the arms down and taking a breath. And just noticing the sensations in the body. And are you able to maintain kind thoughts, kind speech, and kind action to yourself in this practice? Remember, there is no way to peace, there is only peace. So we'll come up now, once again, and we'll extend the opposite leg out. For me, it's my left leg. Noticing this position, noticing the stretch, and you can bend that knee if you'd like a little bit. Not too much, just a little. Finding length in the spine. We'll inhale both arms up. And then we'll exhale, bringing the one hand down to the extended leg, and we'll lift up and over with the other arm. You can gaze down towards the ground, down towards that extended leg. And a couple breaths here. And again, noticing where you feel this posture. If it feels like it's a 10 out of a 10, you may want to back out by not bending over as much. If you're feeling this a 10 out of a 10, it's probably not kind action, and so you want to back out of the posture anyway. Inhaling up to our gate pose. And then as we exhale, bringing that opposite arm down to the ground and extending arm up overhead, trying to lift that hip up towards the sky, creating as much space on that left side of the body. And notice where you're feeling this pose. Are you feeling it in the hand that's on the ground supporting you? Or do you feel it on the torso? Just noticing. Breathing in and breathing out. And then with the strength of our arm, we'll lift up to our gate pose. Once again, inhaling the arms up. And then exhaling, we'll bring that knee in. We'll sit back down into Thunderbolt. Inhaling the arms up. And exhaling. Taking a breath. Just notice how you're feeling. We're going to come onto our knees at this point, and I'm going to move to the side so you can see me. And we're going to bring our hands to our hip. We're going to tuck our toes, and we're just going to lift the spine up towards the sky. A little bit of a back bend here. Not too much supporting our low back. We can bring our fist to our low back, and we'll allow the upper chest, our collarbone, to smile towards the sky. And our collarbone is this bone right up here. Arching the back just a little bit. Opening our hearts. Perhaps open our hearts to our own kindness, of our words, our actions, and our thoughts. And then we're going to untuck the toes, bending the knees, sitting down, and moving into child's pose, allowing the head to rest on the hands, taking a breath in child's pose. And noticing the sensation of child's pose, bringing your awareness internal versus external. Taking a breath here. And then putting the hands over the chest, rolling up. We're going to swing the feet out in front of us. We're going to bend the right knee, and we're going to bring the right hand behind our back. We're going to lift the left hand, and then we're going to reach out over that knee, and we're going to twist toward the bent knee. Sorry, I'm facing away from the camera. Winding up, unwinding the spine. And we'll inhale to center. And then we'll extend that leg and bend the opposite. Inhaling the hand with the bent knee behind us. Inhaling the opposite arm up towards the sky. Exhaling as we twist toward the bent knee, gazing toward that back shoulder. Again, notice the sensation of the spine. You don't have to change anything, just like when we checked in. You don't have to change anything, we just want to become aware. And sometimes just the awareness is enough to change it, just like when you bring awareness to the breath. Sometimes the rhythm of the breath changes without any effort. And we'll unwind, allowing that foot to extend, inhaling the torso, lengthening the torso, and then allowing the body to forward fold over the knees. In here you can have a round spine, or you can do a straight spine. I'm going to do a round spine today, and just let my head and my torso come down. I'm not pulling myself, I'm just allowing gravity to move my body. Taking a couple of breaths here. Letting go of anything you want to let go of. And then rolling up. And then you can recline into our Shavasana. The knees can be bent. The knees resting together. The legs can be extended. The arms can be down by the side or on the belly, and the eyes can be open or closed. If you prefer, you can be in a seated position. And here I want you to just notice the sensation of the feet on the ground. It may be the bottom of the feet or the heels. And just notice the sensation of the ground against the feet. How does that feel? Is the ground hard? And just noticing the sensation of the ground on the feet. And then maybe notice the temperature around the feet. Noticing if it's warm or cool. Noticing if you can feel the sensation of your socks or shoes against your feet. Noticing if those are pleasant or unpleasant sensations. And perhaps notice the sensation in the rest of your body. Is there an area that you're noticing more than the other? Perhaps an arm, a leg, your belly, your back, your shoulders, your fingers, the head, the brain, the breath. Just bringing your awareness to the sensation of that body, and just perhaps be curious about the sensation. Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? And just make note of that. I'm going to read a poem in Shavasana. It's a Chinese proverb. Be careful of your thoughts, for your thoughts become your words. Be careful of your words, for your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions, because your actions become your habits. Be careful of your habits, for your habits become your character. Be careful of your character, because your character becomes your destiny. Making wise choices. And so now winkle the fingers and the toes. And bringing one knee and then the other into the chest, giving yourself a little bit of a hug. And then either rocking and rolling up to a seated position or rolling over to one side, helping you into a comfortable seated position. Taking whatever height you need, making sure the knees are comfortable. And we're going to end this practice with one of my favorite kind of rituals. And so we're going to inhale, bringing the hands over the heart center. And then we're going to inhale, bringing the hands up to the forehead. And this is to remind us to have right thought, kind thought. May we be present, steady, and joyful. And then we're going to bring our hands to our lips. Right speech, kind speech. May our words improve upon the silence. And then we're going to bring our hands to our heart center for kind action or right action. May we be the change that we wish to see in others. May you be the change that you wish to see in yourself. Thank you for practicing with me here on the Art of Yoga Project YouTube channel. Thank you for showing up. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Have a lovely day.